The stars above Earth shimmered like silent witnesses. Far beyond the clouds, a message arrived, one that would change the course of humanity. It began as a soft chime at the Earth Space Command Center. A signal marked with a seal no one dared to ignore. The emblem of the Galactic Council. Commander Ilara Miles stood in the Martian outpost control room when she got the call. The transmission was being decoded on Earth, and she was needed there. Orders were short. Return immediately. You're on the team. Ilara didn't ask questions. She never did. With sharp brown eyes and a steady hand, she had led dozens of missions beyond the asteroid belt. Born on Mars and raised in a colony dome, she had always believed in humanity's future in space. But she also knew how fragile peace could be. Her shuttle left the red dust of Mars behind and crossed the dark sea between planets. On Earth, in the Great Hall of the United Planetary Council, the message played on a giant screen. A tall, pale blue alien with silver eyes appeared. He wore robes that shimmered like water. His name was Valor, envoy of the Galactic Council. His voice was calm, but his words struck like ice. This is the Council's final warning. Cease all extraction operations on protected moons. Your violation of interstellar law threatens balance. Continued defiance will result in exile from all galactic systems. You have 7 solar days to respond. Silence filled the chamber. President Halden, leader of Earth's High Council, stood and faced his advisors. They won't act, he said with certainty. They've warned us before. Others nodded. The resources from the moons were too valuable to give up. Earth needed them, especially the helium-3 deposits on Europa. Too much had been invested. Ilara stood at the edge of the room. She had just arrived and still wore her flight jacket. She raised a hand. With respect, sir, we can't afford to be wrong. Halden didn't even look at her. They're bluffing. Later that night, deep beneath the Atlantic Ocean, a hidden facility hummed to life. Inside, engineers activated Project Aegis, a defense system with power to shield Earth from orbital attacks. Ilara watched the data stream in her quarters. She had seen it before, plans buried in top-secret archives. Aegis was powerful, yes, but against a council fleet, she wasn't so sure. She received a new message. You've been chosen to lead negotiations. Report to Orbital Station Vega at dawn. She stared out her window at the night sky. Somewhere out there, Valor was waiting, and the clock was ticking. The sun was just rising when Ilara's shuttle lifted off from Earth. The sky turned from black to deep orange as the shuttle passed through the atmosphere. She watched the clouds fall away, replaced by the quiet darkness of space. Her destination was Orbital Station Vega, a large ring-shaped hub that floated above the equator. It served as the meeting point for diplomats, traders, and now, something far more serious. Ilara sat alone in the transport cabin, reading the Council's transmission again on her wrist screen. Every word was sharp. There was no space for misunderstanding. 7 solar days, she whispered, and we've already used one. When the shuttle docked, she was greeted by an officer in a blue uniform. Commander Miles, Envoy Valor arrives within the hour. You'll be leading the talks. I'm briefed, Ilara replied, stepping off the ramp. Where's the diplomatic chamber? Level 12. Room sealed, private line only. She nodded and moved quickly. The diplomatic chamber was a circular room with a large transparent wall showing the stars. A long silver table sat in the center. 2 chairs faced each other. No guards. No distractions. Ilara took her seat. She tapped her screen and reviewed what she knew about Valor of the Korath Dominion. Age, 212. Known for his role in negotiating peace after the Sorath conflict. Logical, loyal, and feared for his calm brutality. The door behind her hissed open. She turned. Valor entered without a sound. He was tall and lean, with skin like polished stone. His eyes, silver and still, studied her like a scientist would a new life form. Commander Ilara Miles, he said in a soft, deep voice, You are Earth's representative. Yes, she replied, standing. Let's talk. They sat. I will be direct, Valor said. The Council is not interested in debate. Your species is in violation of Galactic Law 7 to 9. Extraction from protected moons is banned. We're aware, Ilara said calmly, but our need for energy is not the Council's concern. Ilara paused. You've never enforced this law. Why now? You expanded too far, too fast, Valor answered. The moons you touch now are sacred to others. You mine without asking. You build without balance. This is not growth. This is infection. His words were sharp. Ilara felt the weight behind them. We're willing to listen, she said carefully, but threats won't work. It is not a threat, Valor replied. It is a timeline. He stood. You have 6 solar days left. Then he walked out, leaving Ilara alone with the stars. Later, Ilara stood by the station window, watching as Valor's ship hovered near the docking bay. It was massive, smooth, dark, and silent. No weapons were visible, but she knew they were there. A message came in from Earth Command. We stay the course. Project Aegis is now active planet-wide. If they strike, we respond. Hold the line, Commander. Ilara stared at the message. Her hands were still. Her mind was not. She whispered to herself, we're not ready. Outside, the stars seemed colder than ever. The lights in the diplomatic chamber dimmed as Ilara stepped inside again. This time, there were no introductions, no greetings. The second meeting with Valor was to continue the negotiation, but the room already felt heavier. Valor entered exactly on time, just as before. He didn't sit right away. You have made no changes, he said, looking directly at her. Mining continues. Communications from Earth suggest defiance. Ilara kept her voice steady. Earth is cautious, not defiant. Caution implies hesitation. You do not hesitate. You consume. He sat, folding his long fingers together. Ilara leaned forward. I came to find a solution, but we need to understand what you expect from us. You must stop mining the protected moons immediately, Valor said without emotion. Shut down the stations, withdraw your people, or we end your access to galactic space. What does end mean? Ilara asked. Valor paused. You will be cut off from hyperspace lanes. Council technology will no longer respond to Earth systems. No trade, no travel, no communication. You will return to isolation. Ilara felt the weight of his words. That kind of exile would destroy Earth's future in space. Colonies would collapse, ships stranded, generations of progress undone in days. She looked into his eyes. You would punish billions for the decisions of a few. I would maintain peace, Valor answered. That is my duty. After the meeting, Ilara returned to her quarters on the station. She tapped her wrist screen and opened a secure line to her AI assistant, Kilo. Kilo's voice, calm and synthetic, filled the room. Hello, Commander. You appear troubled. I am, she replied. I need to understand Valor. The way he speaks, there's something behind it. Like he's following orders but questioning them. Would you like me to analyze his speech patterns? Kilo asked. Yes, especially his use of phrases, anything that doesn't fit. Processing, Kilo said. The screen filled with lines of text, translated from Valor's native tongue. Most phrases were formal and predictable, but one line stood out. Infection spreads when it finds no barrier. Kilo, she said, is that a common expression? No, the AI replied. It appears metaphorical, possibly a coded warning or reference to past council actions. Ilara narrowed her eyes. What kind of actions? Historical data shows that the council has destroyed civilizations before, quietly, without war. She sat back. So that's the choice. Obey or disappear. Hours later, another message from Earth came through. It was brief. Stay firm. Aegis is fully online. Prepare to activate Martian defense grid if talks fail. Ilara closed the screen. Outside her window, Vaylor's ship hung in orbit, silent, still, watching. She whispered, "This isn't a negotiation. It's a countdown." The station's halls were quiet. Cold white lights lined the ceiling as Ilara walked slowly, her mind racing. She had faced danger before: hostile pirates near Saturn, systems failures on deep space missions. But this felt different. It wasn't about ships or weapons. It was about survival. Quiet, final, and almost invisible. Back in her quarters, she called Kilo again. Bring up the phrase Vaylor used. Infection spreads when it finds no barrier. Kilo responded immediately. Phrase located. Cross-referencing council records for similar language. Ilara leaned forward, eyes fixed on the screen. A file appeared. Incident report. The Haction Erasure. A species from the outer rim had expanded aggressively, refusing council warnings. No war was declared. One morning, their colonies went dark. Communications cut. Ships frozen. The council removed them from every star map. It was as if they never existed. Her stomach turned. "They did this before," she whispered, "and they'll do it again." Kilo spoke softly. That phrase was part of the envoy's speech to the Haction leaders, just before their disappearance. "So it's not just a warning," Ilara said. "It's a signal. He's telling me what's coming." She stood and paced the room. Her orders were clear: hold the line, defend if attacked. But something told her this wasn't about military power. Vaylor didn't want war. He wanted Earth to see the choice: obey the law, or vanish quietly. She looked out the window at the dark curve of Earth far below. Somewhere beneath those clouds, people slept, worked, lived, unaware of how close everything was to ending. Then she had an idea. "Kilo," she said, "is there any clause in council law that allows for temporary compliance while a case is reviewed?" "Yes," the AI said. "Under Council Statute 4.3, probationary admission. A species under investigation may request review if they agree to halt disputed actions and accept observation. Has Earth ever filed for that?" No record of it. Ilara stood tall. Then it's time. She prepared a message, not to Earth, but to Vaylor. It was short. "Envoy Vaylor, I request emergency consideration for Earth's probationary status. Mining operations will cease immediately. We ask to be judged fairly under council law. I await your reply." She sent it, then turned off the lights. There was no going back now. The next morning, she returned to the command deck of Orbital Station Vega. No reply from Vaylor. But his ship was gone. Only a single message remained in her inbox. It was from Earth Command. "Council fleet detected near Saturn. Dozens of ships. No communication. We are moving to full alert. Aegis status. Armed." Ilara's heart pounded. They were coming. And now everything depended on what Vaylor would decide next. Red lights pulsed through Orbital Station Vega. The Council fleet had entered the solar system. Satellites showed a slow but steady formation. Dozens of ships, sleek and silent, moving past Saturn's rings. No weapons fired. No messages sent. Just movement. Ilara stood in the command center, eyes locked on the main screen. The ships looked like shadows against the stars. Long, dark, and smooth like glass, each one capable of destroying a city. She received a direct call from Earth High Command. "Commander Miles, you are now in control of Mars orbital defense. Prepare to activate weapons if the Council crosses the red line." She didn't respond immediately. Her thoughts were heavy. Aegis was online. Earth could fight, but at what cost? "Copy," she finally answered, her voice flat. Holding position. She returned to her quarters. The message she had sent to Vaylor was still unread. Maybe he had never seen it. Maybe he had ignored it. Or maybe this was the reply. Kilo's voice broke the silence. Council ships are now within 3 AUs of Earth. Estimated arrival, 18 hours. Ilara sat down. Is there any response from Vaylor's ship? No direct message, but one signal has been detected. Encrypted, Council signature. Decrypt it. Kilo worked fast. The screen blinked, and a single line of text appeared. We are listening. Show restraint, and we may respond in kind. Her breath caught. It was vague, but it was something. Prepare my message, she said. She recorded it calmly, carefully. To the Council fleet. Earth will cease all mining on protected moons. We request probationary review under Statute 4.3. We are prepared for oversight. Please acknowledge receipt and pause your advance. She sent it, then waited. Hours passed. The Council fleet stopped near Jupiter. Still no weapons charge, no threats. Just stillness. Ilara paced the station. Officers moved around her, nervous but silent. Everyone was waiting for something, anything. Then Kilo spoke. Incoming message. Origin. Council flagship. Ilara turned sharply. Put it through. Vaylor's image appeared. He looked unchanged, still calm, still distant. Commander Miles, he said, your request has been received. The Council will consider Earth's probationary admission. Mining must halt immediately. All defense systems must stand down. Ilara nodded. They will. Vaylor's expression didn't change. There will be observers. You will be watched. We understand. He paused. This is not forgiveness. It is patience. Then the screen went dark. Back on Earth, the Aegis defense system powered down. Across the Martian colonies, mining equipment shut off. On Europa, the last drills fell silent. The galaxy, for now, held its breath. The silence felt heavier than war. Orbital Station Vega floated above Earth, its lights dimmed, its defense systems idle. For the first time in days, there was no movement on the radar. The Council fleet had stopped near Jupiter and remained still. Commander Ilara Miles stood in the main observation deck, watching the stars. Behind her, officers moved quietly. They knew the world had changed, but not yet how deeply. A message came through, short and final. Council review has begun. Earth is under probation. No galactic trade, no new colonization, and no hyperspace access until further notice. All mining operations must remain suspended. Observers will arrive within 1 solar cycle. Ilara read it twice. It wasn't a victory. It wasn't defeat. It was a pause. A chance. Down on Earth, people returned to their routines. Cities glowed again under warm lights. The news told the truth, just enough to keep panic away. There was no celebration, just relief. In the Martian colonies, workers packed up machines. Europa's icy plains went quiet. Titan scanners stopped digging. Across all stations, silence became the new sound of survival. Ilara returned to her quarters. She sat by the window and watched the stars, the same ones she had grown up under on Mars. They looked the same, but she knew better now. The galaxy wasn't friendly. It wasn't cruel either. It was watching. Kilo's voice spoke gently. Status. Stable. No threats detected. Would you like a report? No, Ilara said softly. Just give me peace. She closed her eyes and leaned back. Her mission was done. She had faced a power far beyond Earth's and found a way to speak, to be heard. It wasn't the end of danger, but it was the beginning of understanding. The stars outside twinkled quietly. Somewhere beyond them, the Council was watching. But for now, they were silent too.